Itagat ko kenjitab Kalenjin ketestai ak tetutiet noton nebo Kass Mashinani tete komunitab Prudential Insurance kosir kiboitinik alak 4,000 eng emetab Kenya ole weni noton kotoreti neranik chechang konyor boisionik eng emoni. Kamwa CEO nebo kampunit noton Gwen Kinisu kole eng nguni kotindoi icheket kiboitinik 1,000 eng emet komugul kobate bendi kosire kiboitinik alak 4,000 asikotoret eng kanabtaetab mung'areng'wai eng emetab Kenya. Kong'ololi Kinisu eng taonitab Nairobi eng igorta nebo yatetab mornet nelel nebo kampunit noto bo Prudential Assurance.
The opening of this branch, along with the opening of our Bungoma branch, is part of our strategy of ensuring that we are able to demonstrate reaching the customer and providing a place for our financial advisors to meet our customers. So this augments very well with our customer strategy, which is embedded in the idea that the more accessible we are, the more simplified our solutions are, gives us a winning formula to be able to protect families in Kenya and beyond. In Africa, Kenya is touted as an anchor market because we believe that the opportunity for insurance in Kenya is huge. In Nairobi alone, we have 4.9 million people. So opening this branch is also, in our opinion, opening a door of opportunity for our financial advisors to be able to meet our customers. It's situated in such a place that it's very central to how our financial advisors can reach our customers, and therefore representative of how we espouse our values, that we are committed to succeed with our partners and with our financial advisors to reach our customer base. We have pioneered a product in Kenya called PruLife. Our PruLife product allows our customers to do their legacy planning. And it works in such a way that customers can pay their premiums for 10 years and they are insured for the rest of their lives. We've done several experiments with it and it's doing extremely well. And so this branch creates a platform for that further advancement of our anchor product. So we expect, and we have other products in the pipeline, learning from our success with the PruLife product. And our intention, as has been in the past, is to ensure that we provide winning propositions that speak to the relevance of our customer stages and the segments that we serve. And so we hope and we are optimistic that this branch takes us 1 inch closer to being able to meet that objective. So when we talk about digitization in Prudential, we look at it in a number of ways. We look at it from the perspective of, do we have distribution management systems? Do we have point of sale systems? Do we have core insurance systems? So at the moment, we are actually deploying a transformation across our business. And from a distribution perspective, the opening of this branch augurs very well with our strategy around access, ease of distribution. But also from an advisory distribution perspective, a lot of our agents are going the digital way. And so we find that they are building their digital presence on social media. They're doing a lot of their advisory work off the leads that they're getting from social media. And so creating a space such as this allows us to be able to mesh the online and offline experience for our customers so that our agents are better supported. Our strategy is to be able to differentiate from a customer perspective. And we think that the winning formula is being able to mesh online and offline. So we are investing heavily on our digital capabilities, and we are also investing in our branch network. But it is not enough to say that we are opening branches. It is important that we are building the capabilities and empowering our financial advisors to be able to serve our customers better. That, augmented with superior customer experience, we believe will be able to give us a winning formula with our customers. So that it's not just about the opening of the branch, it's a multifaceted perspective, and the branch is one key pillar towards that objective.
Yakatestai ak logoiwekab emet chitab Kalenjin ko kakolumda serikali tetutiet nelel nebo aletab tuguk anan procurement nenaat mising kou electronic government procurement system ole kaindochi igorta nebo lumdaetab tetutiet noto minista nenamu rabinik noto ko John Mbadi eng igorta nekakiyai eng komasta nebo Kenya School of Government nemite Lower Kabete eng county nebo Nairobi. Ngeepchin ng'alaletab John Mbadi eng igorta nebo lumdaetab tetutiet noto.
Good morning. I'm happy that we have quite a number of accounting officers present in this meeting. This is very encouraging. Thank you very much, accounting officers, the PSS, the CEOs who are here. Thank you very much for coming. It's a good representation. PS, I know, PS has left. Huh? Yeah, he has asked me to give marching orders, though he has again corrected that the president had done so. So I'm reinforcing. But I know it's not a very good morning for some people who have been profiting from the inefficient system that we are moving away from. But unfortunately, the time has come. We have to move on to the next level because it is more beneficial to the country and it will make your work easy. I think it's certainly my delight to preside over this occasion that gives effect to the government digitization agenda. A substantive public policy of this government is technological reform that aims to enhance the nation's economic growth agenda. In sync with the technological reform, the government's target is to make available at least 80% of government services online. The e-government procurement system is a transformative program that is in line with the digital superhighway agenda, which is one of the 5 pillars of the better principle. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is a critical role of the government to facilitate realization of service to all its citizens without discrimination. Such realization is best effected through digitization and automation of all government critical processes, including public procurement. The government of Kenya remains keen on translating policy into reality. As you are aware, and this has been said here a number of times, His Excellency the President, in his State of the Nation address on 21st of November 2024, directed the National Treasury to roll out the EGP system by the first quarter of 2025, and going forward, only procurements undertaken through the system are sanctioned and paid for. It is in line with the said presidential directive that the National Treasury has made tremendous achievements towards development and piloting of the EGP system. The achievement will be fully realized through the next essential step, which is to ensure that all ministries, departments, agencies, and counties, including state corporations as part of the agencies, are onboarded on EGP from April 2025. And we are in April 2025. So this is the official actualization of this process, which the piloting phase will end by end of June, and from July 1st, the rollout complete and full rollout of procuring through e-system will be effected. In the steering committee, which was chaired by my PS, and I want to thank the steering committee led by the PS National Treasury for doing a commendable job. We also had very strong representation from the Council of Governors. So this is a very inclusive process, very participatory. No one has been left out. In fact, we have 3 counties participating in the pilot phase: Busia, Elgeyo Marakwet, and Makueni counties. So this is a very, very participatory process. So the realization of policy, however, more often than not, requires a wide consultative and engaging process. This is why the EGP reform has been in the works for the last 7 years, but it is now becoming a reality. I am aware that the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act of 2015 has mandated the National Treasury the responsibility of developing an end-to-end e-procurement system to be used by both the national government and county levels of government and their respective entities. It is therefore important to note that bringing to effect the EGP system is not just a statutory requirement, but that it fits well with the constitutional requirements under Article 227 that state organs shall undertake procurement in accordance with a system that is fair, equitable, transparent, competitive, and cost-effective. So allow me to emphasize that the government takes seriously its role of providing an enabling environment that gives reality to our progressive Constitution. You may all recall that following the promulgation of the Constitution, the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act 2015 was enacted to operationalize Article 227 of the Constitution, and thankfully I participated in enacting this law. So the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act 2015 and its attendant regulations, which were enacted in 2020, provide a comprehensive set of procurement processes, procedures, methods, and practices covering end-to-end procurement procedures. This policy action or step taken by the government is informed by best practice. Globally, studies by the World Bank indicate that governments that have implemented end-to-end EGP systems have realized cost savings of about 10% to 15% of the total government public procurement expenditure within the first year of implementation. P.S. I am very confident that Kenya, we may even realize a higher percentage. And we all know that that is the truth. If this system is implemented the way we want it to be implemented and the way it will be implemented, we will save much more than 15% that the study has clearly shown. For example, it is mentioned that Bangladesh realized between 13 and 20% of cost saving in 2017 after full rollout of their EGP system in the financial year 2016-2017. On the other hand, Portugal realized 20% price reduction on procurement contracts after implementing EGP. So, ladies and gentlemen, in Kenya, public procurement is estimated to account for 60%, as PS has mentioned, of our total annual budget. So that translates to about 2.4, 2.5 trillion if you base it on the budget that we are going to implement in 2025-2026 financial year. If you save 10% of that, that is about 250 billion. But if you save 15%, certainly you will have over about 330 billion shillings. That is enough for us to stop borrowing. If we can save 300, if we can save 300 billion, we will not go anywhere to borrow. Unless we increase expenditure. We can just decide now there are a few things that we could not do. 85.9 billion or 0.9% of GDP. But again, this was a study done in 2020. We are in 2025. So you can extrapolate that. You will see that the figures have gone very high. So such enormous savings, once realized, can go into meeting other critical services that wananchi require and thereby have a huge impact to our social and economic development. Ladies and gentlemen, we recognize that successful rollout of this system requires concerted training and capacity building to all MDS and supplier community. It is on this basis that the National Treasury has entered into a partnership with the Kenya School of Government to offer EGP training to all MDS and business community. So thank you, Wanadiji, for allowing us to partner with you, and just have a seat, allowing us to partner with you and also availing this facility to us. By the way, when I come around this place, Wanadiji, it gives me very nice memory. I took 4 years just across the fence. Actually, the campus across the fence used to be called KIA. When you people were Kenya Institute of Administration. So this is a very important institution. We were with you together, the other side, across the fence. Yes. You have crossed here, I have crossed to town. So National Treasury has set up a help desk, you have been told about that, and weekly webinars to address this. So there is going to be a lot of education that you are going to get to be able to use this system. Like any new system, there will be challenges. The problem with Kenya, when you face a few hitches, in a day it becomes big news. This system has failed. No. Any system must face challenges. Yeah, even wewe ukinunua kiatu mpya, you must feel like it is inafinya kidogo. You don't take a knife and start cutting. Yeah? A story is being told in my village of another mzee who aliomba viatu kwa mwenzake. And when they went safari, akagonga kidogo, unajua ile vitu za, he took one too many. And then he felt that the shoe was pinching. And he just took a knife from his pocket and created holes so that there could be space for him. Now, that was not his shoes, he had just borrowed. So, you should know what to do with the shoes that finyas you. With time, it adjusts and serves you well. And this system will be the same. So the realization of this key policy reform agenda has been thoroughly thought out, and little, if at all, is left to chance. It is why I wish to emphasize that our supplier community plays an important role in public procurement and will therefore be required to register in the EGP system, submit online tenders, check status of tenders during the tendering process, as well as manage contract through contract management module. Heads of procurement of procuring entities have been directed to invite suppliers who are registered with their entity to attend trainings on suppliers registration, e-tender submission, and e-contract management. So facilitate, help the suppliers on how to use this system. Ladies and gentlemen, let me appreciate the engagement towards the development of this system. Various stakeholders were consulted, both in public and private sector, notably the Kenya Association of Manufacturers, Kenya Private Sector Alliance, Kenya Bankers Association, Kenya National Chamber of Commerce, Council of Governors and Development Partners, including the World Bank. The system will be integrated with various government systems, among them Kenya Revenue Authority ITAX, KRA, Kenya National Construction Authority, Integrated Population Registration System, Integrated Financial Management Information System, or IFMIS if you like, and Business Registration Services, BRS. These integrations will go a long way in authenticating tender requirements such as tax compliance, among others. And it has also been mentioned, things like bid bond will now be electronically uploaded. Let me at this juncture re-emphasize that all MDAs are now required to commence rollout, beginning with supplier registration. Then procuring entity registration and ensure their suppliers are trained. So that is the first step. Register them and make sure they are trained on how to use the system. Further, I want to caution, really not to caution, but to implore on the accounting officers and PFM officers that any semblance of resistance to EGP reform will not be tolerated. As I hope accounting officers, the PSS, you are aware that I'm not the accounting officer. I'm not the appointing authority. You were appointed by the president, but the president did not make you accounting officers. I made you accounting officers. And so, if you resist, I will take back that responsibility of accounting officers and then ask the president whether you are still useful as a PS if you are not an accounting officer in your State Department. But this is not a threat. I think what we are trying to say is let us support this system. And I have no doubt that that is why, Julius, you are here. You have a lot of work to do back in the office, but you've chosen that this is an important event to attend because you want efficiency in your State Department. All of us want efficiency, isn't it? So I am very confident that this system is not going to face any resistance. It is going to be supported. You know, let me just, nimemalizana na hii written speech. So now I'm on my usual. As National Treasury, this is what we are expected to do to help make life better for Kenyans. Number one, we must come up with policies and initiatives that would help in economic growth. That is a starting point. Economic growth. Out of that economic growth, we work towards reducing or expanding the fiscal space. Fiscal space is what allows us to implement other projects, major government projects, and meet services, offer services to the people. If you don't have fiscal space, you cannot. There are ways of enhancing or expanding fiscal space, but largely or broadly, fiscal space can be expanded through fiscal consolidation. And the way to do that is, number one, revenue mobilization. Number two, debt management. And number three, expenditure management. So we can deal with the revenue mobilization with the Kenya Revenue Authority here, get systems that are working, that will help us get more revenue, collect taxes, come with the friendly policies to enhance and expand the revenue base. National Treasury will always be reviewing our debt portfolio and looking for ways of managing that debt. And we are doing it, by the way. Let me tell you, make no mistake, our debt is going to be managed. This government is going to manage the debt. Debt which was taken and has been piling by other people. But there is no excuse. They took the debt, it was spent where it was spent, no issues, we have no quarrel with them. Those who are in office, they are now retired, let them enjoy their retirement. We are the ones in the office, we will deal with that problem. And we are going to deal with it, and in the shortest time possible, we will have the fiscal space that we need in this country to move the economy forward. So the last one of expenditure management, you must help us, and that is why we have called you here, to help us implement this system, which will facilitate registration of all suppliers and those who want to participate in government tenders into a system, a common system, visible by for everyone. This system will help us onboard or upload the approved budgets into the system. No one needs to be asking how much was approved for correctional services. I don't have to call Salome to find out how much. It is there in the system. You will see it with the budget lines. You can even calculate for yourself how much you are spending in renovating the prisons that we have in Kenya. After doing that, then we must upload the procurement plan into the system. Everybody should know what the plan of the government is and the time when those plans will be implemented, clearly spelled out. Then we go to the tendering system. So long gone will be days when you are told that you did not paginate your document properly, that some pages have been missing. Maybe someone mischievously went and plucked a page from your document. That should not be allowed to continue. So we are simply reducing interaction. Now this will even involve including the banks to give the bid bonds online. The system will just be seamless. KRA will be there, integrated in the system. The tender evaluation will now be done transparently. There's no opaqueness anymore. Yeah? Thank you. So the evaluation will be done transparently through the system. Then tender awarded. Who will complain now? In fact, even the bodies that are supposed to be dealing with complaints maybe going forward, you may just decide to close shop and go home. You will have fulfilled your assignment. Yeah. So, and finally, and this I must be very clear on. I'm being told that the integration with IFMIS will come in June. I want to be very clear here. Director General, PS, my PS, is, let me address my PS, is the chairman. PS, that must be done. We want this system to be integrated. Paka payment, uko. Eh? Where are you? The one responsible? Yes. Where? Yes. Thank you. Yes. So I know you'll make sure that from budget to payment through the system, no excuse. We don't want broken systems again. That this one you do here, then you break it. That is how, just have a seat. That is how systems are manipulated. In fact, I don't know whether you are factored in even use of goods. Yeah? Inventory management. We should find a way of having inventory management integrated so that we are sure that the goods that are procured are also used where they are supposed to be used. Yeah? The entire management. So those are the things that I wanted to mention. I am very, very excited and delighted that this is happening when I'm the Cabinet Secretary, National Treasury. I'm very excited. You know, when I was being vetted, I spoke about this system. I thought it did not exist in government. I was not understanding why this system, government cannot have something like this. So I spoke so passionately and gave a promise that when I get to the Treasury, I'm going to make sure that there is rollout of such a system. When I came to the Treasury, mimi nakuta ni kama hii kitu imeisha bwana. So I'm asking my peers, what is happening? If you have done everything, you have procured the system, everything is put, so what is it? Now, we don't have resources to roll out. I said, wacha, you're lazima. So I made sure that the money is available to roll it out. So the rollout is beginning now. And I'm sure the president will be very happy where he is. Because he gave us, by the way, it's not even about him being happy. I think if we didn't do this, I would not have a job in the near future. Because he communicated. He said in November, make sure the first quarter of the year, the system is rolled out. In fact, we are even late. It should have happened by 31st of March. But it's never too late. So, ladies and gentlemen, first, thank you for coming. I want to reiterate again, I will give support to this system. I will give it 100% of my time. 100%. So that it works. My PS is ready to support me in that. That's why he chaired the steering committee. This system must work. It is going to help us in making government procurement efficient, cost-effective, and economical. It is going to help us in enhancing transparency. It is beneficial to the suppliers because it enhances competitiveness, fairness. What do we need again? What do we need? We just need to treat suppliers fairly so that business is conducted in this country with fairness, honesty, integrity. Can I just take my last 1 minute or so to introduce the following? I'll start with PS, State Department for Aviation and, you know, your handwriting, and aerospace. Terry Mbaika. Terry is here. I had actually spotted her. Tambo, I shouted that you introduced her, but I think you forgot. Yeah, so Terry is here. Thank you, Terry, for coming together with your colleagues who are introduced ahead of you. Shadrach Mwadime. Karibu PS. That is State Department for Labor and Skill Development. Very good. Very important State Department. Skill development. And finally, there's a new kid in the block, the National Treasury. We have the new Director General of PPP. Not Adani, but PPP. This gentleman is the director of PPP. It's called Kass. Went through a competitive process and recruited. So I want to conclude by saying I usually don't respond much to media coverage because really the media's role is to keep us on toes and to hold us accountable. But we have not concluded finance bill for 2025. So let wrong message not go out there that there are any tax proposals, not yet. I'm actually looking at those tax proposals as we speak from various groups. Kenyans are submitting proposals here and there. So talking about 18% VAT, I don't know where you are getting that. I thought finance bill, for it to go to the National Assembly, I have to